Lee Cronin, Jack Reynor, talking all about The Mummy. Thank you guys for joining my podcast. Appreciate you both being here.
Great to be here.
Yeah, pleasure.
What an amazing honor to have and sit down with you guys to talk about filmmaking. Your film is going to be a massive theatrical release. And the beauty of cinema, and I was telling you this prior to us starting, is that the theatrical experience is so special. There's nothing better than that communal feeling of sitting in a theater with strangers. Film is such a universal language. We all can relate to what we're watching on screen. And this could be a pivotal theatrical experience for somebody who goes to see it, like a 15,
hopefully.
16, 17-year-old kid who's like, oh, I've never seen anything like that before. And it becomes that moment they realize how special movies are. For each of you, what was that pivotal theatrical that you had as a kid that made you understand the power of storytelling?
Straight in there with something that's making me use my brain. God damn.
Wow.
Jack, I know you answer this quicker and better than me, so it buys me thinking time.
Well, theatrical experiences, God, it's hard to say what's the first thing that I saw in the cinema that really gave me that feeling. I think probably, to be honest, it was Lord of the Rings.
I was just going to say Return of the King was mine.
I saw the first one.
I feel old right now, but anyway,
I know,
carry on.
I'm sorry.
Wait, I'm 42.
I'm 44.
Okay, so we're
Okay.
I'm 84. You're 82.
I'm 82.
Okay.
Old man.
So you weren't that impressed until Return of the King came out?
It wasn't.
Everything was fine
Everything
until
was
then.
mediocre.
It was not that. It was my initial film that changed everything for me was Terminator 2. But
Okay.
I saw that on VHS.
So did I.
Right.
And so
I was going to say Die
yeah.
Hard for my
that's an
first
amazing
movie
one.
that changed everything for me.
I have to give my quick, whenever I hear Terminator 2, is my big brother, who's like 14 years older than me, and he's in town for our premiere and stuff like that, and he exposed me to a lot of movies when I was younger, and he'd made me, he's away and I wouldn't see him, he'd made me, you could copy a VHS tape, he'd made me and I'm no to piracy, by the way, but he'd made me this VHS tape, which was Terminator 2 and The Commitments.
Savage.
On one long play tape. What a double header. So I connect, whenever anyone says Terminator 2, I also think about The Commitments at the same
That's
time.
so funny.
Which is a bizarre combo.
Would you watch them back to back?
Yeah, totally, all the time.
Wow.
And he even wrote, I'll be back, ad, because he always knew it broke my heart. He'd be like traveling for like college or work or whatever.
Were you someone? I saw T2 before I saw T1.
No, I'd seen The Terminator.
Okay, because it came out in '84, the year I was born. So I didn't. So when Terminator 2 dropped, like, I don't know, exposition to me is something that's fascinating, and James Cameron does exposition so well, where like they explain the whole plot of T1 at the beginning of T2,
really well done.
And it's so smart. But which Lord of the Rings was it? Was it Fellowship?
Well, before we get into Lord of the Rings, I had Die Hard taped from RTE.
Nice. That's our national broadcaster.
National broadcaster. So I had Die Hard 1 on tape with the ad breaks in the middle of it, and the second half of Die Hard 2. So I would watch that tape all the way through and then rewind it and watch it again. I'd watch it 3 times in a day. And I knew like the script off by heart, but then I also knew the script of all the ads that were in the middle off by heart.
Funny.
But I never saw the beginning of Die Hard 2 until I was probably 14 or 15. But I had been watching the second half of Die Hard 2 from the time I was like 7 or 8 years
It's funny how there's
of age.
certain movies like that as well, where
Yeah.
you've watched them like for years, especially like things that are on TV, and you realize, oh, I never saw the first 10 minutes of this film ever. And then you see it and you're like, it's weird. But I on VHS as well, I had recorded Die Hard with a Vengeance.
Oh, yeah.
And had scalped a poster from the local video store and made my own cover for my Die Hard with a Vengeance copy. And you know what? I still have it.
That's unreal.
That's another one
You
where I
gotta
saw
send
it
me a
in
picture of
reverse. I
that.
saw 3 first, then 1.
Wow.
And 3 was
3 is awesome. I love Die Hard.
Yeah,
Really?
it scared me a bit. I didn't like the knife stuff when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Your one with the big, long, spirally blade freaked me out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny you mentioned the VHS tapes. There used to be these like 8-hour LP tapes, right? And like what would happen, I don't know if this is the same for you, but like in America, they would run like HBO and Cinemax like free weekends. And so like if you didn't have
Grab what you could.
Right. Dude, one of my tapes I still have
cool.
at home. It has 7 Mallrats, and I can't remember the third one, or Desperate Measures, I think is the other one on there.
What a triple bill.
But I mean, I remember like it was funny. The other day you posted on your Instagram why The Mummy's rated R, and I used to love opening up like the TV guide and going, all right, what's the most R-rated thing I can find that has language and violence and all whatever it was. And that was like when you posted that, it brought me back to being a kid. So that's how I would tape movies. I would go into the TV Guide, find all the R-rated films that were playing, and just record them because they were rated R, and I wasn't allowed to
They're
watch
the ones
them.
you wanted.
Yes.
Yeah.
I do love stuff
Unreal.
like that
Yeah.
as well. But back in the cinema, I guess, I remember seeing Last Crusade in not a great quality theater. And I remember Batman Forever
Wow.
was one because I don't think I'd seen Batman in the cinema, and I don't think I'd seen Batman Returns. And my sister brought me to see Batman Forever, and it's forever stuck in kind of the chats inside my family about movies. I always slag my sister because there was a trailer where Alfred says, "Sir, can I persuade you to take a sandwich?" And he goes, in the Batman voice, he goes, "I'll get drive-through." And my sister always thought he said, I'll get dry throat. And I was like, what does that even mean? She goes, if you have a sandwich without a drink, I'll get dry throat. So that's like a line in my family.
That's
So you
so
want a sandwich? No, I'll get dry throat.
I get dry throat.
That's so
But yeah,
funny.
I remember watching that, and it's not the best of the Batman.
No.
But at that age, I was like, whoa.
I love all the memes that are going around at the minute being like, Mr. Freeze was trying to cool down the planet and Poison Ivy was trying to reforest it, and they were the bad guys.
Dude, I was like, Arnold was like my hero as a kid because Terminator 2.
Oh, wow,
So
yeah.
every time he was in a movie, like when Mr. Freeze came out, I got the Mr. Freeze action figure.
Yeah.
And it was like, what were his like one-liners? And that was like cool off.
Yeah, cool
or,
off.
Like
Cool off.
Yeah, dude, his one-liners as a kid. Remember Commando? Did you ever see Commando?
Love it.
Yeah, of course.
Don't
course.
disturb my friend. He's dead tired, and he just like choked the guy out. It's like one of the most brilliant one-liners.
Did you like his comedy stuff in that era as well?
Dude,
Then
Kindergarten Cop.
Jingle All the Way, Kindergarten Cop, Junior,
Twins.
Yeah. Twins.
Dude, Twins was like,
I haven't seen that in a long time.
Oh, it's iconic. I mean, him and Danny DeVito. Were you an Arnold kid growing up too?
Yeah. Big
Yeah.
time.
Dude, like I remember.
He's
like,
got to be the most quotable movie star of all time.
I agree. Predator, Stick Around, which is one of the best like one-liners of all time.
Yeah.
But like Terminator 2, I don't know if people remember this. When Terminator 2 first came out, this was such a big deal because T1, he was the villain.
Yeah.
And apparently
the
James
term.
Cameron wanted to keep that secret that in 2 he was the good guy.
Yeah.
Which I thought was an interesting thing, and that comes
Yeah.
down to trailers and marketing.
Yeah.
And that kind of leads me into a question to you about like the trailers for The Mummy have been remarkable.
Yeah.
Like the sound design of the trailers, the way that the letters come up and like the sound of the movie is used with it, from the studio of weapons. Like it's just cool to see like a great trailer put together. How much say do you have in what trailers come out and what is in there from your film?
I think it's never. It's a question I do get asked, how much say. It's not about say, but I'm given great opportunity to collaborate in terms of I understand the speciality of what the studio are trying to do when they market a movie. So I try and embrace the form that they're creating, which might not be how I would cut a trailer necessarily. And in this case, the trailers are incredible.
Yeah.
So try and be really supportive of what they're trying to do. And yeah, you do sometimes give particular editorial thoughts, ideas on sound design, or even I'll get involved and be like, you know what, we've actually taken that special effect, that visual effect further. Let's get that into the cut. Or let me go, we're after cracking this amazing sound in sound design where like the click of the camera or whatever, let's bring that to you as well. So it is more about that collaboration and really leaning into what it is that they're creating. But I'm very lucky that I'm working with the same marketing team as I worked with on Evil Dead Rise. So we've built up a lot of trust, and in a great way, like I see everything, absolutely every 15-second cut down, every 5-second cut down, everything comes through my inbox, and you get an opportunity. Even on the way for us to meet, I was just checking out some new marketing materials in the car. It's great.
Trailers are an art form. And I remember being a kid, and obviously we live in a different age now where trailers are released online, everyone's sharing them, but I didn't know a movie was coming out until I went to the cinema and saw a trailer for like The Lost World. I'm like, oh, they made a Jurassic Park sequel? Like you didn't know movie news like you did now as a kid. Do you have...
I miss that, dude.
Yeah.
I miss going to... I loved the trailers when I was a kid. I always wanted to get to the theater early so I could sit down and watch all the trailers.
You did not
Never
want
wanted to miss them, dude.
Same.
And it's like a thing now where like, everything's out and in your face on your phone when you wake up in the morning. So it's definitely eroded the magic of the trailers before the movie in the cinema a little bit, I find.
Do you know what I miss as well? Because I just happened to see it online recently, was just the old double-page newspaper spreads of what was showing in a particular weekend or week with all these different theaters. And you knew, like in Dublin, we've so few theaters now in comparison to what we used to have. A little bit like everywhere, which is a shame, and hopefully they'll come back. We need to buy one in Ireland. Ireland.
Dude.
That's what we need to do. Deal.
100%.
We need to buy a theater.
I will go there and buy
Yeah.
tickets because I mean, like, Jack and I were just talking prior to the conversation. We love going to the movies, seeing classic films.
Totally.
Do you remember a trailer that was a big deal for you growing up?
Trailer.
Wow, that's a good question, dude.
Because there were so many.
I remember the
Face
trailer.
Off.
I'll tell you what, I remember, and I'm a little bit younger than you guys, but I remember the trailer for Shutter Island. That really got me stoked. I bought the book and read the book before the movie came out off the back of
the trailer.
Yeah.
Oh, so you knew the twist before you saw Scorsese's
Yeah.
movie. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Love that.
That was a good trailer. Face Off was the one I always remember because it starts on Travolta.
Yeah.
And the camera goes around and the voice stays the same and it comes back and it's Cage. And I was
Yeah.
like, that is one of the I love teasers. 'Cause
See,
you guys-
actually, I've got
yeah.
one then. Actually, one of probably my favorite of all time was the Sixth Sense theatrical one, which was just a scene. Just that scene at the car. Where they're talking about the cyclist that's been knocked down.
That's confidence, man.
And it is, because I do miss sometimes. We actually have a little taste of it because I remember discussing that trailer with the marketing team on The Mummy. There's a little taste of it in our trailer where we do sit with you guys. We sit with the family having a conversation about pizza.
Yeah.
Albeit it doesn't pay off as one continual scene. But I love that idea that we just enter into the world and just sit with the world. That confidence of it just being a scene.
yeah.
It's just a scene.
Great.
Yeah.
Which is really great.
I was worried when I saw our trailer for our film come out, because it had been a minute since we had shot it, and I was like, "Oh God, is the trailer? Have we put all the best bits of the movie in the trailer?" And then I went to see the film over at Blumhouse a couple of days after that, me and my wife, and I was like, "Oh fuck no!"
Yeah.
We really, I couldn't believe how much we packed into this film, like in the way where, and I said it when we were shooting it, like every day we were shoving 10 pounds of shit in a 5 pound bag, and the movie is like it's dense.
Yeah.
So I really like felt, on trailers, like after I had seen the film, I was like, wow, they really pitched the trailer in the right place.
Do you know when you're filming when a trailer moment happens?
There was one I knew in this movie for sure, and when I wrote it, I was like, this will either open the trailer or it'll be in the first 20 seconds, which is it's very important you prepare yourselves for what you're about to see.
Oh yeah.
That's the line that hooked me.
Yeah.
I remember I was like, oh, I'm in. I'm leaning in.
I felt a little
That
bit like I was
guy-
playing a Hitchcock trick or something like that within the movie itself.
He was so good as well, by the way. Like
Amazing,
he
that-
was in and out in a day, and he just like
Tim Safey was his
Yeah.
name. Is his name? Was his
Yeah.
name? He's still alive, thankfully. But no, he was. Yeah. It was one
He
and done
wasn't
and
really
out.
prepared
Yeah.
for what they were about to see.
into,
so that's-
into the skip afterwards. No,
Yeah.
Tim was amazing. Actually,
was
I
unbelievable.
used Tim as a temp voice for. There's a voice on a tape later in the movie as well because he's such a great voice. But to learn this monologue, you're walking in with a crew that are tight and working together, and we're probably halfway through the shoot at that point. And he was nervous and he was pacing, and then he just nailed it. We did 3 takes, and I was like, I think I probably used take 1.
Yeah.
It was just really, really good.
he has such a great face as
Yeah.
well, like just such an intense look. It's brilliant.
What I find really interesting about the marketing behind the film, obviously in the title, just seeing your name put before the Mummy. I mean, that's a really big deal because it really kind of gives agency to your voice as a filmmaker. Like when I saw that your name was attached to it in the title, I was like, oh, I loved Evil Dead Rise, so I am all in on this. What did that mean to you? And kind of can you speak about like your conversations with Warner Brothers to kind of put Lee Cronin's The Mummy?
Yeah, it actually started with Jason Blum. It was Jason's idea quite a way back with the project. And I think when people had a grip on the script and what it was, and that was before there was an announcement of another Mummy movie, which is 2 years from now.
Yeah.
It was still just a case of we should plant a flag and have a real sense of identity. So it wasn't something that I went looking for. In fact, when Jason rang me and suggested it, I said, I need to think about this for the weekend. I want to be sure because I try and be humble in my work. I'm not trying to slap my name on there just so. But I think there is a relevance. Yeah, no, of course I am. No, that's exactly it. I'm an amazing liar. But yeah, it's kind of humbling, and the film does have it's very much its own sense of identity. That's as people are starting to see the movie and talk about it, I can tell already that there's a lot of people going, oh shit, that's what this is, which was why we all did it, right? That was the point to play around with expectation.
I think also, like going back to like the kinds of horror movies that we probably all love and grew up with, Wes Craven movies, dude, John Carpenter movies. there's a special flavor in those movies, and I think one of the things that Lee does amazingly well is make horror films that feel like theatrical events, you know?
Yeah.
Like Evil Dead Rise, man, that's a cinema movie. Go and see that in the theater with your mates. And, you know, I think this is very much the same thing, you know? So, like, it kind of, to me, like, Lee is sort of following in the tradition of those kinds of filmmakers, you know what I mean?
There's that auteur
I'm
aspect.
very flattered. Thank you, sir.
Yeah,
Well, I
I'm
mean,
not trying to blow smoke. I really mean it.
I do think that we're living in an era now. I mean, we have always kind of in a way where like people will follow filmmakers
Yeah.
if they love the earlier works. Like I'm going to see the new Nolan movie. I'm going to see the new Tarantino movie. And there's a beauty to finding a filmmaker's voice. Like I remember finding David Lynch's voice for the first time when I saw Lost Highway.
Amazing.
And I was like,
That's a fine. Oh, you got to tell your story.
do you have a story about Lost? Dude, that movie still terrifies me.
Just let him go on this one.
When we were on The Mummy, David Lynch's couch from Lost Highway came up for sale at an auction.
What?
And
How does that
They
randomly?
did, yeah, he was selling some of
He
his.
told me about it.
Yeah, I told you that there was this Lynch.
He told me that there was an auction of David Lynch's stuff happening after he had died.
Wow.
And Lost Highway is low-key my favorite David Lynch movie. So I went
scary.
online and I saw that this insane mid-century modern couch from the movie that Patricia Arquette and Bill Pullman are sitting on when they watched the video, it was in David Lynch's house for over 30 years. And I watched that film and like loved the couch the first time I saw the film. And then me and my wife bought a house in County Wicklow where we live in Ireland. And I was like, what kind of couch are we going to get for our living room? And she was like, I don't know. And I was like, have you ever seen Lost Highway? You know that couch from the film? And she was like, no. So I showed her the movie. She loved the movie. She loved the couch. We went looking for a couch like it. Couldn't find one. And then we're on The Mummy. And he goes, you know, there's like an auction of all David Lynch's stuff. So I went online and I bid on that exact couch, won it, shipped it to Ireland, and now that's my couch in my TV room.
Okay, that is absolutely insane.
It's insane. Not only that,
Yeah, but
I found a phone down the... Well, my wife found it. I lost my wedding ring before I was coming out here on Presumed Innocent in December. And she was looking for my phone down the couch and she pulled out a phone. And it was like, oh shit, is this David Lynch's phone? So I ended up having to bring it to LA. I reached out to his son on Instagram and we started chatting. And I ended up bringing this phone back to David Lynch's assistant, Michael. And it turned out to be his ex-wife's phone, but how fucking... It was like the start of a David Lynch movie.
Dude, that's what an amazing story.
How
I know,
weird,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
And it was so fortuitous. He was the one who told me about it. I wouldn't have that couch if it wasn't for Lee.
The funny part about
Yeah.
this is like
I love my furniture stuff, and I was just like, wait a minute, they're selling off. I've got close on stuff before, like they sold off a bunch of Freddie Mercury stuff a couple of years ago as well.
Did you get anything
I
from the Lynch
didn't.
sale?
I didn't. No, I was busy
balls
making a
deep
movie.
in The
busy.
Mummy.
I was doing rewrites.
Well, so I guess that leads me to this question of discovering a filmmaker's voice for the first time. And I remember, I think for me, Lynch was a big one. Obviously, Peter Jackson's Dead Alive. I
Peter
remember
Jackson, enormous
Oh
one
my
for
Dude,
me.
Meet the
God.
Feebles and Dead Alive. I was like, when I was 6th grade and saw Dead Alive for the first time, and that character pulls the lawnmower out and just runs into the zombies. It's one of the best like
Is
visual
Dead Alive
effects.
the one where he punches through the back of your woman's head?
Yeah, brain dead. Yeah.
Brain dead.
Yeah, so
we call it dead. We call it brain dead in Europe.
yes,
yeah.
isn't
Dead
that
alive
funny?
over here. Yeah,
It's
yeah.
a great effect.
Dude.
She covers her face with her hands like this, and then they just like freeze frame it, and then he punches out through a dummy's mouth.
I love the scene where they're eating custard early on, and the mother is rotting and her ear is falling in, and it's like they're eating it up with like jam, and it's gross.
Oh,
Those
Unreal.
movies, like I remember the Frighteners came out, his budgets got bigger.
There's a
That
movie
scared
I
the
saw in the
shit out of
cinema
me.
and really enjoyed.
Same, man. I started collecting ticket stubs when I was a kid, and the first one I ever collected, weirdly enough, was Die Hard 3. I saw it with my dad the day after I mowed the lawn that day. He goes, "Hey, you did good. Let's go see a movie." But I still have my Frighteners ticket,
Yeah.
and I got to
way.
interview Michael J. Fox one time.
No way.
And I showed him the ticket, and he was just so blown away that I had still had. But that Frighteners ticket, that movie was pivotal for me.
Yeah.
That was a big one for me.
Do you know what I love about that movie is it's tonally pretty wild.
It
In
is.
the one that it's got some slightly kind of Ghostbustery childlike moments, and it's also like really dark.
Oh yeah.
Really dark.
Really,
I was
really
way
dark.
too young when I watched that movie first. That really
Yeah.
put the shits up me. What's your man's name who's in it again from Reanimator?
Oh, I can't remember.
I can't.
But if you look at Lord of the Rings, though,
his face.
those were dark too.
They were dark.
I mean,
They were.
Howard Shore's score, but like the visual effects. I mean, that was like my film school. Was the DVD features for Lord of the Rings?
Yeah.
Like they had
man,
the extended.
I'm right there with you.
Remember the extended cuts? That there was like the red, blue, and green.
The appendices.
Yeah.
I still have I've many versions of it, but they're still the go-to. They were just like always playing, and it's like there's been all these different stages in my life where I've recommitted to the idea of making movies or following the dream.
Yeah.
And definitely being in film school at the time and fellowship being out, that was actually my film school more than being in film school, because I was more frustrated in film school with the red tape of trying to get your hands on a camera or whatever. But then you'd be staying up till like 3 a.m. just watching the appendices again and again. It's the family of it all. I love that aspect of filmmaking. The other thing with Peter Jackson that I love is that you go back and you watch Brain Dead. Or you watch watch Bad Taste, like all the way back. You watch Bad Taste, and you see some of the same names and key positions show up on Lord of the Rings.
Yeah,
what a journey that is.
I mean, dude, I'll never forget discovering Andy Serkis in performance capture for the first time.
Yeah.
I was like, because I mean, like seeing behind the scenes stuff was everything. I loved because I've always had the ability, and I feel like you guys had the same ability too. You can watch a movie and appreciate the filmmaking, but not lose your suspension of disbelief.
Definitely.
And like, so I don't mind like thinking to myself, oh, that's a really cool split diopter, but I'm not being taken out of the film.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of the beauty of cinema, if you can kind of get to a place where it
Absolutely.
doesn't pull you out. But I guess the question I was kind of getting to was this idea of like, do you remember the first filmmaker's voice you discovered? Kind of different from that first question I asked.
John
about,
Hughes.
Really?
Interesting.
Yeah, because I have a big, despite the dark stuff that I do, I think that John Hughes, Chris Columbus area like had a big influence on me when I was younger.
What about for you? What was the filmmaker's voice you found?
You know what, man? I have to say it was actually Jim Sheridan. Believe it or not.
Amazing.
Yeah, because
What was the film?
Well, I went to a secondary school in Dublin where my English teacher, a guy by the name of Porrick Madden, who was a legend, I had him all the way through the 6 years of secondary school. But when we came in on the first day of first year at 12 years of age, he had written on the board, "English is about life." And he turned around and he said, "Lads, I'm going to teach you guys English, but I'm not going to teach you English as in the language. I'm going to teach you about life, and we're going to do a lot of it through film." And we
what a
watched,
delight.
oh my God, like literally being in Porrick Madden's English class was like being in film school. And so My Left Foot was one of the first things we did, you know.
Amazing movie.
Dale
In the Name of the Father we watched as well at that time, and like that was enough to spark my interest. The Field is one of my favorite movies. I don't know if you've seen it, but that was the big Richard Harris Renaissance film.
I haven't seen The Field.
You should watch The Field.
The Field with
It's,
Richard
it's
Harris.
dark and miserable and amazing.
Dark, miserable, and amazing, and like
Yeah.
the best. If you want to understand Irish people's obsession with land and our historical grievances with the British, that's the movie to watch. It's Richard Harris in like a Renaissance film for him.
John Hurt.
Who is incredible in it. Sean Bean, Tom Berenger, and Brenda Fricker. That movie is next level, man. I watched it again recently.
It's bubbling in my. I need to watch it again. Soon.
gonna watch
I've been
tonight.
thinking about it. I would have also like Jim Sheridan and Neil Jordan as filmmakers. Definitely.
Crying Game.
Yeah, like what a movie. And even
The Crying Game. What was the
Did you know the
werewolf
twist
one?
before you saw it?
Oh, his first.
The werewolf movie's great.
My God, In the Company of Wolves.
In the Company of Wolves, man.
Did you know the twist for Crying Game before you saw it?
I knew there was a twist, but I didn't know what it was.
That got ruined for me, and Usual Suspects got ruined for me.
There's one. Usual Suspects got ruined for me. That I probably didn't watch Usual Suspects until like 10 years ago.
Yeah.
I actually
Really?
just didn't bother. Yeah.
It's because you knew the Kaiser Soze
And
ending.
then everyone just kept talking about it, and like it was pre-social media. It was like a living meme, and it was just I just remember kind of parking it and coming back to that movie at a much later date.
I showed Madeline that film for the first time about 6 months ago. She had never seen it, and she didn't know the twist.
Whoa.
But she guessed it right away. She knew. She knew that it was him.
Really? Is it
And-
because it's such a pop culture moment now where you see him walking?
Well,
it's
she
been
said, I think it's because of the way the culture of movies has evolved. I could see the leads. She was like, I could read it in a way that in 1995, the culture of filmmaking was different and maybe people couldn't see it coming back then.
Yeah.
But she had it right away. She still loved the movie.
Or she's
but
just a genius.
she is smart, I gotta say.
It's like someone saying they knew the Sixth Sense ending before they saw it, and I'm like,
I never buy when people say shit like that.
I don't believe it.
But I'm also an
believe
incredible dumbass. I'm the perfect person to pull into a test screener. See, even though I write, I guess nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If it's a good movie and it just pulls me in, I I don't guess it because I don't want to.
Don't try to guess it.
No, exactly,
Yeah.
because it's
Yeah.
like people that watch a movie and they want to find continuity issues.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why are you doing that? Just like roll with it.
Let ambiguity. I mean, like filmmakers are collaborating with audiences.
Yeah.
We're
Exactly,
in this together. It's like the same thing. Like with Nolan's films, for example, like with Tenet or something like that. It's not a film that I fully understand, but I feel it. Do you know what I mean? It's like
Same with
it's
Lynch,
like,
dude.
Exactly.
Any David Lynch thing.
Yeah.
It's hitting you on a deeper level.
And you don't-
just let him reveal it to you, man.
Right, but you almost it's like I feel like people sometimes get mad at movies if they're ambiguous, and I'm guilty of this. When I was in my 20s, I saw the Coen Brothers' No Country for Old Men for the first time. I was like 25. When that movie comes to an end and Tommy Lee Jones is given his speech and it goes to black, I didn't like it. I didn't really understand.
I had exactly the same response when I
Dude.
saw it.
And then 10 years later, I saw it in
Yeah.
my 30s. Like chills. Like that. I think that's one of the greatest movies ever made. Deakins' cinematography. That ending is perfect. But it took me 10 years to realize it.
Yeah.
And that always interests me because movies don't change. We do.
Yeah.
Right. And it's kind of like we were talking about your wife, like watching that, knowing the twist. It's because of the lived life that she has. Maybe she
Yeah.
wouldn't have known it had she seen it in the 90s.
Yeah.
But what about for you? Like that's an interesting thing. You've had those experiences before.
Yeah, definitely. I'm trying to think of some other movies that had that impact. Actually, weirdly, not that long ago, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, I didn't enjoy it the first time round.
Okay, let's
I've
go.
seen it
Let's-
once, and
Let's
I'm
do
like,
this.
it's grand.
And then I watched it a second time, and I adored it.
Yeah,
Right.
But the first time around, I don't know whatever, because I was going to say filmmakers whose voice, like Tarantino.
Yeah.
When Pulp Fiction, I saw Pulp Fiction before Reservoir Dogs.
Same.
And then found Reservoir Dogs, and I both of those movies again, I guess on DVD at that point, and I would just play them on rotation in my bedroom
Yeah,
all the time.
yeah.
And Scream, they were three movies that were just going
Scream.
all the time,
Yeah.
all the time, all the time. And so his voice for me is like such. It's actually, there's an interesting one. Jackie Brown, so excited. I get to see my first Tarantino movie in the wild. Went to see it in the cinema, didn't quite get it. Watched it many times since. Watched it a few months ago. Might be his best film.
It's a brilliant
You
movie.
and I have had the exact same. Okay, so I had the exact same experience with Jackie Brown and with Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. And I'm not going to try to project on you why you may have had
Project
the experience.
away.
Here's what happened with me. When I saw Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, I saw it. The first two times I saw it in 35, and I saw it in 70. And the 70 was really where it blew my mind. It's because we had put expectations on who Quentin Tarantino was as a filmmaker, and the movie didn't deliver what exactly we. So if you go from Pulp Fiction to Jackie Brown, they're such different films that you're wanting Pulp Fiction. It's like when people went from Boogie Nights to Magnolia.
Yeah.
People were a little bit confused, like, oh no, I want Boogie Nights again.
Yeah.
So I think by the time we got to Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, it was. To me, it's his masterpiece, and it took me 3 times to realize it's the best movie he's ever made.
Wow, I need to watch it a third time because for me, it's kind of a contentious one. I just remember tonally by the time it hit the ending, even though it was about putting hope into the survival of Sharon Tate and all of that, I got a little annoyed about it all. I just got a little. I just
Felt
got
the same way.
I just got irritated. I was like, why? And I kind of got it in Inglorious, but in this case, I was just like, I don't get your magic trick here. I just didn't
That was the
connect
thing
with
for
it.
me. I was like, is this a shtick now? It's a revisionist thing
Yeah.
where we're going to take historical moments and just say,
Yeah, that's what
didn't happen?
That's kind of what I was thinking.
Yeah.
But again, I watched it again and I thought it was pretty amazing. And I think Jackie Brown's probably now on the gotta watch it once a year list for me.
It was. I saw Jackie Brown with my dad in '97 in theaters, and I had the same experience. I was like, I was a big Pulp Fiction, Reservoir Dogs fan. I hadn't seen True Romance yet, which he wrote and not directed.
Oh, yeah,
but
it's a killer movie.
That I got right away.
Dude,
Wow.
same.
that
What a
movie is one of. I mean, the cast in that film. But I mean, it's interesting. You're right. Like we kind of come to these movies with a certain level of expectation. Like people are going to come to Lee Cronin's The Mummy based on what they may have saw in Evil Dead Rise,
Yeah.
and they want to expect certain things from you. But obviously, you want to not subvert, but you want to make different films each time.
I think you want to expand.
Yeah.
I'm definitely a fan of paying heed to what an audience that like one of my movies do like, and it's always funny because people go, "Oh, it's like an Evil Dead movie," and I'm going, "Yeah, I made one of those, and I made it in my own terms." For example, you know what I mean? If there's some horror that's similar in The Mummy, so I'm definitely game for giving people at least a piece of the thing that they like. A weird one, just reverting back as well, a movie that myself and my friends went to see in the cinema, and we were all really excited to see it, was The Big Lebowski. And we didn't, let's stop talking about it. I don't need to say how good it is.
love it, man.
But we were at an age where we didn't quite go all the way. We wanted to laugh more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know, that kind of way? And we were forcing laughter in places because we just kind of maybe weren't quite emotionally intelligent to get it and to get all the references and to get all of its values, you know, that kind of way. But I remember seeing that in the cinema and being impressed, but also being like, even then going, I don't think I'm quite there yet.
Yeah.
Now, 3 years later, it was like, wow.
Yeah. Fight Club was like that for me in a different genre, but like I remember seeing Fight Club when I was like 14, and I didn't feel like I understood the impact it had on me until maybe I was like 5 years later, when I finally like sat down and like really kind of understood what Fincher was doing with, you know, flash frames and like, you know, editing. And
But there you go. I was 16 or 17 when I saw that.
Yeah.
And probably just finished school and about to start film school, and it really hit for me right away. That difference between being 13 or 14 years old and 16 or 17, where it just, I remember Fight Club, I walked out and I was like, that might be the greatest movie of all time.
Yeah.
I had a huge one last night because I got home to my gaff after being at work, and myself and my
Gaff
wife,
is the Irish for house.
Okay.
we were.
I was thinking about gaffer.
Not Irish in the
I was
language.
thinking about a gaffer.
my wife's parents are over staying with us at the minute, and it was his birthday yesterday, so we had a barbecue and stuff, and we were like, hey, we'll stick a movie on. Sat down and watched with Nail and I. Haven't seen that movie since I was 14.
I've never seen it. That's
Dude,
one of mine.
Yeah.
That's
movie,
one of mine.
I swear to God, I watched it again yesterday, and I knew it was a brilliant film. I had a rhetorical understanding of that when I was younger, but I watched that movie yesterday, and for the first time, the writing, the performances, like even like Richard Griffiths in that movie, he plays this character that is so tragic, so funny, but also so threatening. It's unbelievable.
Unsettling,
man. Paul McGann, I had never really appreciated him in that role before. Like, Richard E. Grant is obviously brilliant in it, but those other two guys, like, I guess it just never landed on me until I watched it again yesterday, and I was like, man, this movie is stellar.
I will watch it. It's one of those ones that, because a lot of I don't know what your influences were, but a lot of mine came from my siblings, and there's a 9-year age gap. So it's even the same with music. If there was things they weren't into, it didn't necessarily infect my world in the same way. And with Nail and I wasn't on the rotation of movies in my house, where there's certain other odd things that were. Which reminds me of something I was talking to someone about a couple of days ago. I might have told you about this before. I'm always intrigued. It happens with music as well, but you know, like the connection of movies to each other, even when they have no connection, like my Terminator 2 Commitments thing. My dad worked in the air freight business and got from KLM, the Dutch airline, had done a promotional set of VHS tapes.
Yeah.
And it was Local Hero, 2001: A Space Odyssey,
Right.
The Shining, and Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
Oh, man.
If someone mentions any one of those movies, or I watch any one of them, the four of them come together as a
amazing.
deal.
And it's so random.
What a random
Yeah.
selection of licensed movies put in these KLM blue branded
That's
VHS
hilarious.
boxes. Yeah.
2001 took me a while.
Really?
Because I think I saw it when I was maybe in my 20s, and I wasn't
too much weed.
as present with it. But then what did you say?
Smoking too much weed.
Yeah, probably. But actually, it's funny. Maybe when I did watch it high, maybe it did click. But I remember seeing it in 70 millimeter in Village East in New York when I think Nolan and Spielberg like supervised they went back to the original camera negative and
They
like,
recolored it, right?
It was. And that was like that's it. But maybe the theatrical experience, the projection of it. I kind of mentioned Once Upon a Time in Hollywood when I saw it in 70. It just, same thing with Phantom Thread. That's now my favorite PTA film because of
Interesting, because I've only watched it once, and I think it's great, but I just didn't feel the need to go back.
Go again.
I was the same, yeah.
Go again on that one. And I'm a Licorice Pizza guy too. I
Oh,
know
I watched it. Yeah,
one of the best
so good.
soundtracks ever.
So good. The way that movie just opens,
Oh.
and there's just music and talking, and you're just in, and you're straight. Like, talk about how to open a movie. It's going to be about this relationship, and it's just with the meet cute straight away.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Yeah.
What about
What
Eyes
was-
Wide Shut? Just putting
I
that out
love
there
it.
as a.
I like
love
Eyes
it.
Wide Shut a lot. It's like I'm trying to think like when it comes to Kubrick. I mean, I gotta go 2001, Dr. Strangelove, of course, but like
What about Barry Lyndon?
Yes,
See, that was shot in
Yeah.
Wicklow. That was shot, down our neck of the
Barry
woods.
Lyndon. I rewatched it again a few weeks ago,
Unbelievable.
and it's only the third time I've seen it.
yeah,
And it might be
cinematography.
my second favorite Kubrick movie.
What's your one?
The Shining.
No.
Have you seen The Killing?
The Killing is
actually-
amazing.
I
Dude,
actually haven't
Sterling
seen The
Hayden,
Killing.
dude.
Thank you, dude. Sterling Hayden is so incredible. That the killing, it's like 80 minutes.
Yeah.
Watch it if you get a chance.
It makes me want to make a heist movie,
Dude,
so bad.
It's just like a horse race betting thing. It's like
nice.
it's one of the most perfectly.
I think that's his only movie I actually haven't seen.
Dude,
Yeah,
it's
pretty sure.
unbelievable.
I'm so glad you brought up Sterling Hayden.
Yeah.
I've been going down like this path and just watching tons of older films, and I'll start on one and then find somebody who's connected to another one and go back.
I love
Do you like The Long Goodbye?
Dude. I mean, Long Goodbye I need to revisit. It's been a long
Great,
time.
dude. It's great. It's unbelievable.
Go back to Eyes Wide Shut because you were kind of a little on the fence there.
I've only saw it once.
Oh man!
So I need to revisit that again.
At home or in theater?
I saw it at home.
Because I saw it in theater at the time it came out. Wasn't sure. Watched it a couple more times at home. Revisited it in theater. Probably like 7 years ago or something.
Yeah.
There was a re-release.
When did it click for you?
It clicked kind of right away. I thought it was really cool. But the more I watch it, it's like there's something. And I know there's lots of stories about how complete it was. Was it his vision, et cetera, et cetera. I think it's without a doubt his dreamiest movie for me. I think the soundtrack is incredible.
Yeah.
It's really, really incredible.
Doctor Strangelove is the one for me.
Doctor Strangelove. I mean, that was
There
probably
you go. That one never quite got me.
interesting.
Really?
Maybe it'll.
Maybe I need to go back. It's because John Cavill, producer on the movie, my good friend.
Yeah.
It's his favorite as well, and I don't know what it is. I've
It's
seen
the
it
tone of
twice.
it.
It's so close to a perfect movie for me. The tone is so
to go back.
special.
It's like the tone is almost impossible.
Yeah.
It feels impossible.
Totally, man.
You know what I mean? Like when you watch a movie sometimes and you go,
How do you make a comedy about nuclear war
Yeah.
like that, man?
Well, this is a random jump. This is a random jump, but think about Weapons for example, second, which is actually the movie they referenced in your trailer for The Mummy.
Yeah.
That movie had one of the greatest tones I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Because like he was juggling like horror and comedy in like a perfect.
Totally.
Like Zach is just amazing.
If you
but-
can nail tone, like that's
Yeah.
the biggest challenge of
That's
all.
what I've been saying you do all day. Again, not to
Yeah.
blow
Tone.
smoke up his arse.
Tone's hard.
I think Korean cinema does it really well. Like if you've ever seen The Wailing, that's a great example of
Yeah.
like a horror movie that bounces into comedy and family drama and all these
Look
things.
at Director Park. He was sitting
Oh my
here
God, dude.
in January for No Other Choice, which is
Amazing.
one of the greatest movies I saw last year.
How did that not get?
I don't know.
Dude.
I haven't checked it out yet. Actually, I've heard
Speaking
it's
of
great.
tone, that movie is a masterclass in tone. I mean,
Absolutely
Old Boy
agree.
obviously I don't feel like jumps around in tone. It's just pretty dark.
Yeah.
But that oneer obviously is one of the greatest shots of all time. But like No Other Choice is like one of those ones that fits into that category. I'm like, how is he juggling this?
Absolutely.
It makes no sense.
Absolutely.
He's remarkable. I want to bring this up. I mentioned this at the beginning. When I was a kid, the rated R rating was so special to me because I was one of those kids who worked at a movie theater before he was 17 and they would not let me watch R-rated films. They would
No
actually write
way.
me up. I remember sneaking into Shadow of the Vampire.
You get detention.
Great movie.
Yeah, and they literally wrote me up. I had to get taken in the office. So seeing R-rated films was kind of like drinking before you're 21 or whatever it would be. And when you, on the other day, I'm going to read this out loud because this is great. You post this on your Instagram, rated R for strong, disturbing, violent content, gore, language, and brief drug use. These were like things that I would look for as a kid going, am I ever going to be able to watch this movie? I'm going to have to sneak into it. And the R rating was almost like a taboo
It was a
thing.
it was a challenge as well.
Yes.
Like in Ireland, our system is a little bit different, so it would be 18s is what
Okay.
it was. We don't have the R.
Yeah,
R
over
rating.
18s.
When we were both grown up, I'm sure because it changed a little bit. When I was growing up, it was universal. Like there was a U, then PG, parental guidance.
Oh.
Then 12s came in later. Then
12s.
it was 15s and 18s. It was that simple.
You had a PG and a 12?
We PG and 12, and then there's
And we also had U, which was universal, and then a G for general at one stage as well.
Yeah. So
And
what
then
was
there
the one you couldn't
PG, which
see?
was parental guidance.
Okay.
18s was, well, in theory, because I remember years ago going to the cinema when Twister came out. And I was of age, and I had a cousin over staying, and like a female cousin, and she was like hanging out with some other people from like my hometown, and one of the mothers brought us along, and they were all 14, and I was say like 16. And I was like, said to the woman, Mary Grimes, just say they're 15. Because it was Twister's one of those ones that's like, you absolutely have to be 15 to see it in Irish cinemas. And obviously to do a threat or whatever, or the intensity of it or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Oh no, hang on. It was was it 12s? And what year was Twister at?
96.
Yeah, sorry. I was 13, 14.
Yeah.
They were 11 or whatever.
Yeah.
And
movie was scary as a
I
kid.
was so excited to go and see it and went up and Mary Grimes just told the truth. Oh, they're like whatever, they're 11 and they're like, you can't go in. And we had to go and see James and the Giant Peach, the animated version, which is a cool movie and I
Yeah.
love Roald Dahl. But when you're going at 13, 14 years old to watch Twister and you're not getting in there, it's quite upsetting. But the 18s thing, like the standout. It's a red. It's
Yeah.
a red
circle
red,
with 18 in the middle of it.
Did y'all sneak in?
Oh, so enticing.
I know. And
Yes, it made it like it was
Yeah.
almost like you weren't supposed to be there.
Yeah, you weren't.
Dude, I remember sneaking into Blair Witch or something. I think
Oh,
when
my
I
Blair Witch
was like
memories.
16. But I also this was back when people thought Blair Witch was real.
Yeah,
because the
yeah,
marketing was
yeah.
so brilliant. I remember the movie ended, and I actually thought what I watched was real.
Yeah.
because the marketing was so good. But I remember sneaking into that because you'd always have to keep an eye out for the usher.
was that R-rated here?
That was R-rated.
'Cause I think it was 15s in Ireland. Blair Witch.
It wasn't as violent, but it did have the R rating. But I was
Yeah.
wondering, like, do you guys remember like the first R-rated movie you saw?
Oh yeah, RoboCop.
RoboCop.
Wow.
And my memory of RoboCop was the local video store. It's kind of a weird thing. I grew up in this small town. At one point, we had like 4 video stores.
Yeah.
And then it all boiled down to one and none now, unfortunately. But this video store that was kind of just like an independent guy that ran his business, you know?
Yeah.
And I remember it was we didn't have a VHS player. You would rent the VHS player and the tapes for the weekend before we'd bought one.
Yeah.
So you'd rent the whole package. And I just remember that coming into focus as part of my life.
Yeah.
And then just standing there staring up at this RoboCop poster with part man, part machine, all cop.
Dude.
And then finally seeing it. And man, when his arm gets blown off,
Yeah.
it's like, whoa, the human body. That can happen.
You're bringing me back to being in the video shop as a kid and just like it was just the covers of the VHS boxes,
Dude,
man.
mine was Dead Alive because remember it was like, it was
I'm
like
shaking even thinking about it, man.
Yes.
On Paul Verhoeven, right? I could sit here and talk about Paul Verhoeven all day, right?
Black Book.
What's the Black Book,
Oh,
right?
I love it.
What's the consensus on Showgirls?
I love
Because
it.
I love it.
I've actually never seen Showgirls because it was this is funny. It was NC-17 when it came out in the U.S. And an NC-17 film essentially, I don't even think major chains could carry those films. So the other day, Tarantino owns a theater in L.A. called the New Bev. I'm sure you guys know about it. But they played a 35 millimeter print of Showgirls, and I was like, I kind of want to go, but I was like, how do I tell my wife I'm going to see a movie about Showgirls?
It's pretty tame in comparison.
Compared to like
yeah.
now, but like it was pretty explicit for what it was back in the day. I've actually never seen it, but my memory of that film was the ability that I couldn't see it because it was NC-17.
I listened to a podcast recently with Colin McLachlan, and he was saying, "Oh, I kind of regret being part of it, and like I've never really felt like I wanted to go back and watch it and stuff." And I watched it a couple of years ago. Me and Madeline watched it together, and like she loved it as well. I think it's having a bit of a renaissance now, which it actually really deserves.
Yeah.
It's a sick movie, and like Elizabeth Berkley's performance in
Yeah.
it is awesome. She's super dedicated, man.
Did you
It's
have
an
Saved by the Bell
intense
where you guys are from?
performance. Yeah.
So that was a weird thing for me. Was
We
like knowing-
syndicated a lot of American TV in
of course.
Ireland.
But
That's how
knowing-
it infected our kind of watching
What we
culture.
all,
yeah.
But
you
knowing
can
she was in
understand
that
our
movie.
dialects
Yeah.
compared to people 20 years ago.
I have a random memory of watching Showgirls with my friends when we were about like 14, 15 and making homemade fireworks for Halloween. The curtains closed on a Saturday. We were making penny bangers and watching Showgirls on repeat.
It's so funny.
It's like that young teenage boy thing of like girls and fire. It's all we need.
I'm trying to think. I think my first rated R was Universal Soldier.
Oh, that's a good one.
Was that Jean-Claude?
I remember that didn't connect. That was a movie that I wanted to really love at the time, and it didn't quite click
Yeah,
for me.
and Tango and Cash might have been the other one. You remember Tango and Cash
Yeah,
with
Kurt Russell.
yeah,
and Sylvester Stallone?
Yeah.
Man.
Love it.
But speaking of, you were talking about covers. I think back to Hellraiser, or when I used to go to the video store with my dad on a Saturday, we'd rent movies for the weekend. He'd go and have a quick beer while I browsed because he knew that I'd want to like look around. So he'd go and have one beer, and he'd come back and I'd like have this stack that'd be balanced between my chin and down here, walking around like it's one of these for sure. Yeah. But hanging out in the horror section and just like certain covers like Society, Ghoulies,
Yeah.
Chud. Did you some say Maniac Cop? A
Really,
second ago, did I imagine?
Maniac Cop, Gonzo movies.
Yeah.
I remember, there was something beautiful about going to a video store and the movie you wanted not being there and then taking the time.
Waiting to see if it returned.
Did you ever?
Waiting
I was
to-
creepy about it. I would wait. Like I would literally stand outside and someone would park their car and I would go, "This is it."
Yeah.
And the guy would walk up with his, and I'm like, "You're dropping it in, right?" He goes, "You got Terminator 2?" And the guy's like, "What the hell are you
No, it's
doing?"
Bridges of Madison
Yeah.
County.
Dude, that was like the waiting. I missed that so much.
Yeah.
I ended up working in my local video store that I had inhabited all those years, and my one like asshole thing was I was such a purist about the title of a movie.
Yeah.
That if you came in and asked the wrong title, I'd be like, I don't have that.
Sorry.
So I remember there'd always be someone coming in real Irish, and they'd be like, have you got that? It was one. Have you got that movie, The Gladiator? I'm like, never heard of it.
No, man.
Never.
Who directed
ever
that?
Heard of it. Yeah, I don't know. It sounds like a knockoff film to me.
So funny, man. I want to bring up some camera shots because I know we only have like 15 minutes left. You guys are amazing. I would love to talk. We could talk all day.
We
this
could,
is like
for
this.
sure.
I feel like I'm just chatting.
We'll have
Let's
to
not
come
go to
back
the premiere
another time.
tonight.
No,
Let's just stay
fuck
here.
it.
Just hang out
The
here.
movie's going to come
Any
out
beers?
anyway.
Yeah. Well, we'll rename the podcast to Lee Cronin's on film with Kevin McCarthy.
Lee Cronin's on film. With Kevin McCarthy.
We talked about split diopters, which for people out there who might not know, this is a shot that I first experienced with Brian De Palma's Blowout, which is like probably one of the greatest movies of all time in terms of sound design. But a split diopter is a really effective shot. And I want to get your perspective from the actor and the director because, and we won't give too much away, but there's a scene when your characters are first seeing Katie for the first time in like 8 years. And we get 2 split diopters in that moment, at least from what I've seen. And I was wondering if you could speak to, one, narratively, why you love the split diopter, and then from an actor perspective, what's your awareness of what Lee's doing with the split diopter on the day? And maybe just give the audience an idea of what a split diopter is.
Yeah, of course.
So,
in really simple terms, it allows you to put 2 things in focus at the same time rather than having softness in the background or the foreground. I like to use them from a psychological point of view.
Right.
So it's putting both the thing. So let's say, for example, we take the character of Charlie that Jack plays. He's looking at a detail on his daughter.
Yeah.
But I want to see his face at the same time. I don't want to see his face and then cut to the thing that he's looking at. I want you to see the thing he's looking at the same way he sees it at the same time as you see him responding to it. So for me, it's actually, I view it as quite often as a psychological tool. Like there's a shot later in that movie where it's after it's kind of a very kind of intense and crazy and kind of violent moment, and the parents have come together in a room and they're trying to patch up their daughter. She's injured herself. But Charlie's a character. His focus isn't on the repair work that's going on. His focus is on what's happening with her. And I use a split field there again, where it's, you're able to completely see what's going on inside Jack's mind as Charlie and his great performance. You're also able to see what he's looking at. In this case, it's a much wider shot of his daughter. So I use for psychological purposes, I like to use them. And then I also like to use them to play with character and object, because I don't really like cutaways if I can avoid it.
Yeah.
Like someone picking up a phone off a table if it's important. You know what? And yes, sometimes it'll just be a focus pull to that object, but sometimes it might be someone, again, considering if they're going to do it. Is someone going to take that drink? And it can be really effective in certain ways. And it also brings an atmosphere as well, because it's not an exact science in terms of where you create the split, and it creates a lot of ghostly effects and things. And when you finish a movie, I remember having this on Evil Dead, because I have quite a few split fields in Evil Dead as well. You get a quality control report where people are saying, oh, there's a problem with this shot. And you're like, creative intent.
Oh, because the distortion.
Because of the distortion. I don't care if there's a scene where you lift up a rug in this movie and we can see the ghosting of your shoes, like a foot behind you on the floor walking. It's all part of what that lens is doing with the light in that moment. But I'm like, let it be.
Have you ever seen Assassination of Jesse James by the coward Robert Ford?
Yeah.
I've seen it once.
Do you remember what Deakins did? But he has these Deakinizer lenses where the left and right of the frame are completely distorted.
Yeah.
And it's like, but it makes you lean in. When I watch Split Diopter, especially in your work, talking about Charlie, Jack's character Charlie, kind of looking at that at Katie's, that something happening in that scene. We are following the frame ourselves, where we're leaning in and going, all right, I'm looking at his face, but then I'm also looking at Katie, and we're trying, and you almost become the editor in that shot. And so for you, from an actor perspective, like, what is your awareness of the split diopter on the day?
like a lot, and I love the style of a split diopter. I think my favorite, maybe not my favorite, but another one of the split diopters that I really enjoyed in the film, and that I actually thought was very effective, was the moment when May turns up at the door and Laya opens the door, and I'm coming down from upstairs with Katie in this moment where she's starting to lift off the ground, and I'm coming down the stairs and Laya is opening the door, and we're 2 absolutely wrecked people. We're burned out. You know,
Broken
we're getting
parents,
towards the end of the film here, and it's very effective because it puts us in the frame together, but it keeps us both in two different fields.
Interesting.
And there's you can feel the individual experience of both of the parents in this same moment.
Yeah.
And it just has a nice little bit of motion in it where I'm just landing as
And
the
the
door
door
opens.
reveals
It's
as well.
It's really, really
Yeah.
nice.
This is the whole reason I started this show, is because I want people to understand, like, when you see shots
technical
like
side
this.
of it.
But the technical
other-
service is the emotional. It services
Yeah.
the narrative. It's not just to look cool.
The other
You know?
really fun thing that we used a lot was the probe lens.
Probe lenses, yeah.
Talk about that a bit.
Yeah, that was my cinematographer, Dave Garbutt, was something he just put in his bag on the plane from New Zealand when he came over to start prep. And he did it because he knew that I wanted to get really close to a lot of detail and kind of just get right up and under the skin. So it just allows you to make a very commanding close-up, but have a lens like that close to somebody's eyeball. It's like just a big, long tube, essentially.
Yeah.
But then, as is often the case, you start to realize what you can do with this, and we started to get playful, started to use them in action as well.
Yeah.
So sometimes we'd shoot a scene that had certain compositions around something evil, like Katie performing something, and then I'd go, let's just stick the probe on and actually go handheld and just like rush the camera in, or like fire it over there and see what we can do. Or we had a right angle one that we could put underwater and it could travel up through water, like the scene in the bathroom with you. And some
It's
really
super
cool stuff.
kinetic, and it puts you right immediately in the middle of whatever the horror is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the beauty of cinema, is like you're trying to keep the illusion.
Yeah.
In terms of, like, we don't want to know we're watching a movie. We want to be like, because like the camera and the score can be characters. And Steven, who you've worked with
100%.
now a
Yeah,
lot,
yeah.
Steven did Hole in the Ground and
Correct.
and as well as Evil Dead Rise.
Correct, yeah.
The score is interesting in horror because you don't want it to be manipulative, right? You want to be able to have an atmospheric nature to it. And I think great filmmakers like yourself use score. It's a character in the world.
Totally.
Speak about your use of score in horror and how I think what's cool about score is you can like kind of like give people clues with music, and then motifs come back. But speak about, like,
I think you always
using-
need a theme. That's
Yeah.
the first thing you need to find, is something that, like, we again found in this movie, Stephen found, and through discussion we found like Katie's theme, like what that would be with her. And we play that in different ways. We distort it at times. What was pretty originally can become something a little sickly later on. So it can be quite a good reminder of, say, the emotional shifts that are happening. But what I've always liked to do is, I view it as the overall soundscape, but also working with my sound designer and getting Stephen to engage with Peter, my sound designer. And it's quite fun sometimes to use sound design where you think you're going to use music, and use music as sound design in places. So one of the things me and Stephen explored in this movie was, it's probably more sparse in places than Evil Dead Rise and even The Hole in the Ground. But we talked a lot about wanting sounds that felt like they were giving you the impression of pressure. And also sounds that felt like stretching a lot, because there's an evil in this movie that's locked inside, and it's also something that's rising. There's a rising temperature throughout the entire film. Something is approaching at all times. But then also, as I said, there's binding and unbinding. This is part of the movie, and I wanted to explore having some of those sounds musically, often played as nearly sound design moments, not in sync, but just earlier in the movie to start just preparing you for what comes in the final 30 minutes.
I love that with the, we have that with like the teeth chattering in the movie is great, and then there's this motif of the tapping, which is really good. Have you ever seen? We were talking about it just before we kicked off, but have you ever seen Quaidan?
Which movie?
Quaidan?
No.
By Masaki Kobayashi.
No.
The guy who did the score for that, Toru Takemitsu, that was his big thing of like folding the Foley from the movie into the score. So like sounds
I
of
love
like
stuff like that.
bending wood and like, yeah.
Well, I mentioned to you
So
prior,
cool.
we only have 5 minutes left, unfortunately, but Bobby Krillick, who did the score for Midsommar, like, that is an incredible score as well. One thing I think you do really well as an actor, your reaction shots are incredible. But you sell it.
very true.
You know what I mean?
Totally.
Like, there's a shot, I mean, obviously, Midsommar, we talk about the cliff sequence. The look on your face in that scene, it gives me so much dread. Right. And then when I watch your face, like, and you see your face in this film when you're reacting to what's happened to Katie, like, you're a really good reactor, and I'm just curious if you
should
can
see how I am when I look in the mirror in the morning when I get up.
But I mean, like, I guess
What's that?
but because I have you here, I mean, Ari Aster is one of my favorite filmmakers. But that cliff shot,
Yeah.
what are your memories of that reaction, of filming that reaction?
Yeah, I mean, there was many moments in that film that were so visceral. But I remember, yeah, being there on the day, and you know, we obviously had Bjorn Anderson from the great, what was that movie that he did? Death in Venice. Okay. So that was the guy, you know, the most beautiful boy in the world. We're going to smash his face in with a mallet now.
That's what they should have called the movie.
But yeah, it's kind of one of those things, you know, where I think you have to, you basically just have to suspend the anticipation, you know, you can't, you have to just forget about whatever's coming, basically.
Right.
So that, you know, when you're there, you're present. Like the whole exercise is about being present and open to a variety of possibilities in the experience. You know, even if the thing is going to be the same every time, even if what you're going to see is going to be the same every time, you have to tell your mind that it could be different every time.
But there's like an evil shock in your face in that sequence. Like it actually scares the shit out of me. Like it actually scares the shit out of me more than the guy jumping.
Yeah.
And I think it's because I'm just like, I feel like I'm you in that moment.
Yeah.
And I think reactions are fascinating.
They're so powerful. And that's part of why I wanted to work with Jack on this movie was because he has the ability to express the internal workings of his mind as that character through reaction, you know? And I think that that's something with you and with Laia, what made you guys a powerful force. I wanted actors that I could look into their eyes and feel what they're feeling. Jack's an expert at that.
Yeah, internal moments. Like, you don't. Sometimes the face can just tell you everything you need to know.
Yeah.
And that's why I wanted to bring that up. I mean, Sing Street was another film I have to mention to you real fast because I think about that music constantly. We're talking about Steven's score.
Yeah. Music
is such a powerful tool in cinema. Just your memory quickly of that experience of like what, because that movie was the first time I saw your work.
Yeah.
So that was
do you know what, man? I have to say, like a lot of my favorite work that I've done and been able to be a part of is stuff that I've done in Ireland. And it's funny because like the things that you're mentioning, like I worked with like a lot of the crew who were on that movie were also on this movie. You know, so like to be able to work in Ireland, to have the shorthand with those people on those crews. It's an amazing thing. Like Ireland, the film industry in Ireland's having a really amazing moment. Anybody who works in Ireland comes away from the experience going, wow, that was one of the best filmmaking experiences I've had. I think that we have a lot of ambition in the Irish film industry. This film for us was a real testament to that. We were very proud to be able to make a film that had such a broad scope and that was something that was like a real genre horror movie, the kind of thing that we would have wanted to watch growing up as kids. To be able to make that with our friends, people that we, you know, that we've kind of grown with as filmmakers and whatever, that was like really, really, really special. I think it comes across in the movie.
I think so, yeah.
That's incredible.
So. It was fun.
As we wrap up, a couple quick rapid fire questions. I wish we didn't have to end this because I mean, I literally wrote like 30 questions for you guys, but movie you wish you could rewatch again for the first time, and you don't remember it at all. You get to see it again for the first time.
Fellowship.
Really? Interesting.
Yeah, that blew me away when I saw it in the cinema.
Full circle with Lord of the Rings here.
Yeah.
Cure by Kiyoshi Kurosawa.
Why that one?
That movie, it's got so many elements that I love, like the supernatural horror of it, the neo-noir of it, just the cinematography from a technical filmmaking perspective. That movie is like flawless. The performances in it across the board are astonishing. I think it's the most stylish, coolest, freakiest fucking movie ever.
Yeah.
That would be the one for me.
That's a great choice. I mean, there's so many to like revisit again. All right, The Mummy is in theaters April 17th.
Correct, sir.
Lee Cronin's The Mummy. Just want to make sure we say that properly.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for both of you for being here. It's an honor to chat movies with you guys. Honestly, I feel like we'd be like friends at school just talking.
We geeked out. We geeked
out hard.
Yeah, I love talking to you guys. Well, congratulations
so much.
to you
Man.
guys and hope to have you guys on again soon.
Thank you very much.